Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is Ami. I am so happy to be here with you guys. It has been an insane week. So today's video is not going to be anything specific necessarily. I'm just going to go over what happened this week and kind of clean up my budget, because when I say it got messy, it was as if a bomb exploded. Seriously, it got so messy, and I literally just spent almost an hour and a half trying to figure out what the crap happened. How did I go so wrong? So today is maintenance day, so unfortunately you might hear some noises. I'm going to try to not talk over those. I say as they literally walk past my window. But long story short, I went traveling when I didn't have a travel fund, when I was supposed to be saving up for a move. In my fairness, I did have to go to the apartment complex that I actually signed the paperwork for. So by December, I will have a place. I'm hoping to get my place sooner. The complex is supposed to let me know if anyone else has an emergency move out, because this lease ends in November. So that's going to be tricky, but I do have some backups of people I can stay with while I wait for my lease to be ready for me. But with that, I spent some money on the move. So I went and signed paperwork, I applied for it, and I got approved. So then I had to put a little bit of a down payment down. So, not down payment, but deposit. So I spent more than what was in my moving fund. So I'm going to open up my tablet and show y'all what we got going on. So I was supposed to have my really big paycheck last week, which is the week for this whole thing. In theory, this is what my paycheck would have looked like, give or take a few things. I think when I had set it up, I had a little bit more saved up for different categories like sinking funds and stuff, and then as the traveling happened, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna add some more money here and there. Yeah, so we're gonna go through each category and talk about what actually happened. This is the amount that I was supposed to make. Okay, well, I made that much, and that was taxes. So I wanted to put some money into utilities, insurance, all that kind of stuff. I knew I had to do taxes and business as well, so there was that. Medical, my mom didn't, I didn't reach out to her about my next therapy appointment, and so she's probably going to pay for that, or half of that, but, it hasn't happened yet. So I paid in full from my bank account, and I had some money in medical already, but then we'll get to that. So we had medical, we had therapy come out of my account. We were obviously traveling. We had move. I thought that I only owed an extra $113. We'll get to that as well. I gave myself $100 for travel, and I put 60 of it into gas and 40 of it to just spend. It ended up all going into gas. I gave myself $30 for groceries, and I thought that that was all that I needed for these accounts here. And also for my JW donation, I went ahead and put in my donation, and I thought that I was all set on that, and you keep hearing me say I thought. It was a mess. So if you go to my last video, I did a cash swap. So I took some money out of my binders and I put them into my PNC bank, and when I did that, I made a little bit of a mistake, not really thinking. So this is my account activity on PNC. You see how many scribbles are on here? I'm gonna zoom in. So there's a lot of scribbles from me trying to figure out what the heck happened. Why didn't I have the right money in my account? I already knew that I was way off of the budget that I had planned, but I still was a little confused as to why I had money left over in here, where I went wrong, all of that kind of stuff. If you see right here, on September 27th, I made a deposit of $125. So this included $10, which was for medical, and that was taken out immediately. So I had $115 coming out of my cash envelope binders. That was part of the bill swap. So that money was supposed to be for my JW payment, my debt payment, and my medical payment. And I was a little silly, and I put all of that money into my reserve account. So on PNC, you can have a spending, a reserve, and a growth. Reserve is like a savings account that you can bounce between your checking account. So I put all of it in here, not realizing that medical and JW was actually getting pulled out of my spending account. So this is where it gets complicated. Follow along with me or skip ahead because it is going to get a little confusing. So what you see in green is income. I tried to like write down what everything was here. And then we have, this is my reserve account. So my gas buddy is connected to my reserve account in order for me to have my gas taken out of from like that account. So all of this here, now, if it says travel, that's the gas that I spent while I was up there. I had a little bit left in my gas fund before I went traveling, so I used that for this payment right here. And then I deposited $100 from my paycheck last week to travel. And then this was the money that came from sinking funds. So not from my paycheck. I already had this money. I was putting the bills into the bank. So the biggest takeaway I have from this is do not do a bill swap right before traveling. It gets really confusing, and have a set budget before I leave. I left very spur of the moment. I ended up leaving earlier than I anticipated due to some events that came up. So because of that, I was like, you know what, it's fine, I'll manage, I'll figure it out when I'm up there. No, don't do that. Do not do that. Do not do that ever again on me because, oh my god, it was so confusing and I was stressing out a lot about it and I didn't know how to fix it, so I was just sitting there while I was supposed to be relaxing, stressed out about money. Now, another big thing that changed. So this debt payment is me paying off, so paid off my PNC loan. So we'll do a little celebratory for that. Great, wonderful, awesome, all that jazz. They closed my account and my credit went down, so that sucked, but luckily that happened after I got my approval for the apartment, so it didn't like show up on their records. So yeah, that's exciting, but if you remember, I only had $25 in my debt account, so I did go over. I was like, well, whatever I go over, I'll use the 25 and then charge the rest from my paycheck, right? Then my TD payment called me, and this charge right here is from TD. TD is my Samsung account. Samsung uses TD credits for, you know, making payments on their tablets and such. And they called me, actually they didn't call me, I checked my credit and I noticed that something really weird was happening with this account. So my initial credit limit was around like 2,100 or something like that, and my credit had been significantly decreased all the way down to negative of what I owed. So to put this in perspective, say I had $2,000 limit. I spent $300. They knocked my credit limit down to $200. So now not only does it say I'm using 100% of my limit, but I'm actually using over my limit. Those aren't the exact numbers, but that's just a simple way of explaining it to you guys. So I was really frustrated. I contacted them. I was like, what the heck? Like, why? What is happening here? Why did you decrease my limit so greatly and like remove, like, I don't understand how you can force me to be using more than 100% of my credit limit when I should have had like 10% usage on that account. So what had happened was I accidentally put in the wrong account numbers the first time I went to make a payment. I noticed it very quickly and I removed that payment and I removed the account. But because they had already tried making that transfer, it counted as a false transfer or a returned transfer. So they deducted so much money of my limit from me. So that was really frustrating because I had so much limit on that one, and that was the one credit account that I didn't really have to stress out about too much. And now my usage is at like almost 100% because they were like, if you don't want to get charged or deducted even more, make sure you make a payment of this amount here, and then we can reverse the charges against you and make sure that at the very least you aren't going to get extra charges. Now, as for your credit limit, you can call back and get that increased again. Just explain the situation, see if they can increase it for you. I might end up doing that just to increase my credit score because it had gone down so much. They said give my credit score 30 days to update and to see the new information and see what it does with it. And the situation is kind of difficult to explain, so I apologize if I didn't do it well, but Basically, TD made me very upset, and so I had to make this payment, which was unexpected. So from the $100 that I put in here for travel, I used $96 of it, and then from the $115, which was supposed to be for these three things here, I ended up using $101 of that with my debt payments alone. And I only had $25, like this $115, $25 of it was supposed to be for debt, so of the $101 that I spent on debt, 76 of it was not meant to be spent on that. So that's why my account balance is still going to be a little bit higher. I think right now, yeah, I have $15 available to me, which is like the discrepancy between these things. And that money I'm just going to keep in here for gas. I'm so upset. Like, I really dropped the ball this week. I stressed myself out a lot. I'm very glad that I figured it out, but I dropped the ball. This was supposed to be the paycheck where I heavily stuffed, and I completely lost that. So here we are. This is what's happening. So yeah, so we're gonna zoom in again to my spending account so y'all can kind of see. This is where we're at, and then $217 I moved into taxes because I was not about to understuff that account. I wasn't about to do it, but that doesn't show up here because I did that after I had downloaded this PDF. We can go over a little bit of the things that I spent if y'all are interested. So the move, I had 60 and 47, so $107 in my moving account. I ended up spending, I think, 210, so I was definitely over with that one. While I was up there, I did some DoorDash. I made like $13 even actually, and I just used that to cancel out a $13 purchase that I made while I was up there. I had some things from eating out, some things for drinks, some things for myself, and then a lot for my boyfriend. I bought him groceries and a couple things from Walmart that he's been wanting really badly but just hasn't gotten it. Like, you know those trinkets that you're like, oh, I really want that, but then you never remember at the right time, or it's like valuable to you but not valuable enough to like buy it yourself, like those kinds of things. I bought them for him. And then I did have $22 come out for gas here because I forgot my card at the house. So so again, this was in theory what it was supposed to look like, but this is what it did end up looking like, and I am in the negative by $25. So I have the donation has been made. Everything in here is set, already done. This was all of the charges from last week. So this is not this week, but last week's stuff. So I did have $731, and then $30 went into donation, $40 was put into my business account, taxes got $217, and then I spent $64 on my boyfriend. I spent $140 on medical, $100 for travel. Move, I spent $113. Gas was $22. You can kind of see these here. Because this is a reverse stuffing, you guys aren't going to see me stuffing any of my envelope because in theory, like, I already used up the stuff. But what we will do is update the envelopes to make sure that they are accounting for everything that just happened. So we have bills here, which I did not tap into while I was up there. So we have 2, 3, 5, 35, 6, 7. Rent I also did not touch, so that should be at $600. Insurance also didn't touch. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to count up the ones that I already have because that would be pretty redundant. I've already done all of this. So donation is at 0, so I did update that one. And I started putting sticky notes on the back as little trackers because I knew that I was going to need it after this whole debacle. I did spend some money in car. I just used my Capital One, which is connected to my sinking funds to pay for it, but I believe it was $40 that came out of my car fund. So that means I have 5, 6, 65, 66 now in car. Business, I did use the $2 that was in here as well, so business is at an even 0 right now. Don't know how that happened, but yeah. And then taxes, so this one I guess we can stuff. So we'll give it 217. 1, 2. Also, if the fact that I have so many different styles of bills annoys you, trust me, it annoys me as well. Unfortunately, I'm just dealing with what I got. Well, so now taxes is at, this looks dumb, but this is my $1,000 bill. Yeah, it's dumb, I know. So we have 1,000, 100, 200, 1,210, 215, 220, 1,222. Alright, and now debt payments. So up here I have a big fat 0, and whoop whoop, we paid off PNC. Although it hurt our credit, it is so nice to not owe this. I did technically have one more month, but I just wanted it out of the way, so yay, all done with that. Alright, and then the challenge, which we're not touching right now. I didn't even account for the challenge in my last paycheck, so I am going to do that next week, and we're taking a break. So the first week of October, the first week of October will not get stuffed for that one. Now we're going over here, so... Also, all of the money that I had in here was also removed. So my boyfriend's is at 0 now. Medical is at 0. Home is at 0. And I did have like some money in here and I spent it at places. Travel is at 0. Tablet is in the back, but we'll get to that. So then we have my just in case, which I didn't have to touch. Now we have emergency, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. In theory, I should tap into this to pay off that extra $25 that I was over, but what I'm going to do as a bad budgeter is actually roll it over into the next week's pay. So right now I have money in my account, I'm not in the negative, and what I want to keep this money for is when I'm in the negative, for when I desperately need it, and right now I don't desperately need it. Okay, and now other, I didn't tap into this one either, and move, oh god, this one was so tricky. Yeah, I have to stuff this one really heavily. I am grateful that I have until December now, but still, like, I need to get a move on. And then tablet, I did not touch that because I had other people help me fund this. I was not comfortable touching this at all, and I will not be until we get my boyfriend a tablet. So it still has its amounts in here. And that is the updated amounts here. So now I'm going to organize this cash and put it back, and I have enough time left on my SD card, so why don't we do that together? So this is how I organize my fake bills. I have just like a little desk organizer that I got from TJ Maxx, and the realistic fake bills I got from Amazon, and then these ones I actually bought at a Goodwill bins. So someone had like donated a bunch of fake cash, and yeah, I was like, you know what, I might need that one day, so might as well, and lo and behold, I did. So here we are. We got another 5, and then 220. And then when I put this in my drawer, I can fit in my calculator, and all of my other envelopes that are empty fit in here, and then this fits perfectly into my drawer. Alright, so we have that. I've learned a lot this past week, and I really hope that I learn from my mistakes and I never ever ever do this again. I really also hope that I can get the savings accounts up as much as possible before the actual move. I am working my butt off right now. I am making sales as much as possible. I'm also making it pop on TikTok, so if you're gonna go check out that. So you can check the description box down below if you want to find my TikTok or any of my rebate app links or my Mercari and Poshmark. I am going to start linking that one down below as well, and then any other various links that I might find. A quick note that I finally got monetized here on YouTube, and I don't know if I can express to you guys how unbelievably grateful I am to you. The fact that I can eventually start making profits off of doing something that I love to do is just beyond me. Like, I'm just so unbelievably grateful. and I know that it's probably not going to be like a crap ton of money or anything, but anything helps, and I'm really grateful to you guys. And so because of that, stay tuned for a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Because I'm going to be earning things from you guys watching my videos, I want to give back to you so you can earn from watching me. Yeah, I'm just really grateful for you guys. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification on so that you can get notified when I do post. With all of that said, again, super grateful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!